So today, we're standing here today because with the family of Salaythis Melvin and the friends and different people from the community, different groups, different residents, people from all different backgrounds that you can see. And for the past 2 weeks, it's been different people on the internet from all over who has seen this. This story about Salaythis being shot in his back while running has been shared all over the internet, nationally. We've seen different, even Attorney Ben Crump shared online also. And I think it's showing that we have stuff in Orange County we got to work on. When people ask, like, what do we want to see? Why are we protesting? We shouldn't have to take to the streets to try to get body cam footage for 2 weeks. We shouldn't have to raise a big uproar or get out in the road in order to get change. And even though we haven't stopped traffic, every time we're going out, Orange County has stopped traffic for us in anticipation of our protests. We can't even get to our protest destination before Orange County is sectioning off and putting us into a box. So it's so hard for us to peacefully get our voice out, so that sometimes it gets displayed as we're being aggressive. Not one time has a protester hit somebody, got aggressive with somebody, or did anything to any motorists or anything. The whole time we've been trying to get a message out that Salaythis Melvin's life mattered. He was running for his life. He didn't pose a threat to anybody, and this is something real. The people behind me are real. This isn't something that people just saw on the internet and just said, I'm gonna come out. People knew that this was Orange County, they knew this was Orlando, and they knew that at any time, any of us could be a victim, because if we don't change the way it is, none of us are safe.
What do you want to see from Sheriff Mina? You were calling on him not to get elected, and here we are.
Yeah, and I think it's messed up that Sheriff Mina waited till 5 minutes before the election was over to release this footage and to go on vacation right afterwards. Like, you won the election and you go on vacation, but there's work to be done. There was a shooting that took place in the middle of your race that you were vocal on the first day it happened, but 12 days later you're quiet. So this is an issue. Like, we need leadership that will go ahead and stick to taking care of the people first. We've seen Orange County have a big display of deputies for the Florida Mall and for other areas and protect property, but we don't see no deputies or any representatives from Orange County reaching out to the family or reaching out to the protesters or saying, this is what we're doing to alleviate y'all stress. So we need more interest in the public than interest in the private property and the people who pay taxes at a bigger scale than the regular residents like us. So I want to call Sheriff Mina to actually take leadership, be accountable, stop putting it on the state attorney only. He's going to put it to the state attorney, and she has to do her own investigation. FDL Lee did an investigation. You did your own investigation. If you can't see that body cam and do an investigation and see means for him to get fired and get charged, then you don't need to be our sheriff. If you can't talk about a bad police officer, then you can't speak up for any good police officers. Because if you can't tell the difference between the two, then there's no such thing. They're all bad. So until Sheriff Mina steps up and proves that there are good officers, we can't rest. We gotta still keep the pressure on him. We need Agent James Montiel fired, and we need him to be criminally charged. Whether it's first, second, or third degree murder or a different charge, we need a charge for him shooting Salaythis Melvin in the back in cold blood.
Some people, and we just asked about this, have also called for the firing of the officers, heard saying racial slurs, and the officers who didn't have any response to hearing that. What are your thoughts?
I think if any officers on the force and they have racial slurs, they got any kind of bigotry or any kind of prejudice, they don't need to be an officer. How can we protect somebody who says something like that on camera, even though they know they got body cam, but says it and just goes about their day? And I know they said it might have been this or that. At the end of the day, I think we have an issue with the police culture in Orlando. It's been racist, even if they're not saying it out loud. They only target black and brown communities more than any other community. We have higher abuse with the black and brown communities than any other community also. And it's like, you don't have to say that we are racist to have racist practices. And Orange County has a lot of racist practices.